Once I get the that bumper on it, no, we're not working on cars today. Sure.
So did you polish all this too?
No, actually it came when the kite
It's just not ran enough to turn colors.
No. Okay. Yeah, with the new motor on it, the light you can not 210 miles an it's supposed to put at least like 500, but hardly drive it just because of the two little kids. So the only time I take it out, maybe lucky a Sunday drive here to the Bass Lake and come back home. But
So do you bring fuel with you when you go to Bass Lake?
no, you think that?
Yeah.
You
I
think
could go with you once. I'm sure.
John regular. Two more days time, you get that John regular house, and eats a lot of gas. You know when the boost comes on.
I don't know how many gallons were you getting?
Check how.
I think I was getting like 11
From
miles
here to Merced on E85, I'll get half tank, full tank. That's a half, and I have to bring like 2 jugs just in case. But ever since I got the other car, so I don't drive anymore. This has been sitting ever since you go out of the house for 5 years, and the car's been sitting more than I drive. So it just sits only. I haven't started up, so we're supposed to start up live. Yeah, it has the E85 in it for at least like 2 months now. So I don't even know if it's going to be able to start up. John has, but if you start up, I just don't have time to start up.
Damn, the turbo's touching, just about to touch, huh?
Yeah. The manifold is, because the turbo's too big, you have to run like an inch spacer on it. So that's the thing. So I'm still debating to change out the manifold too, but it's just too much. The exhaust manifold itself is $2,000, so I was like, is it really worth buying the exhaust manifold? So I'll wait some.
So who are you gonna have tune this? The Supra guy?
Called the Super guy in down SoCal, SR.
Mm-hmm.
They do Supras only. Church does it, but I call Church. They're not really familiar with the ECU. I'm gonna get ECU master. They're not really familiar with it, but they said they could do it because it's Motec, and Motec's pretty complicated. They said they could do it. I was like, I'm sure they could do it, but I probably want somebody who actually done Supras. So
Yeah.
it'd be easier. They try and take like a Honda to like a Toyota guy. Because we did that one time. It didn't work out, so I was just like, try to keep it simple. So John, the car's been parked more than I drive because the whole car was wrapped. So we bought the car and we bought the turbo. We bought a 90 turbo for my brother. And then we couldn't get the car going, and because it was dash harness, and then I was like, "Do you want to buy another shell?" He was like, "Nah, I don't want to buy another shell." So I was like, "No, let me link up the motor, put in this, and then put in this, and then that's the original motor, 122,000 miles original, and right now it's 125 on the chassis, and then the motor is freshly redone from block all the way to the head, cream. Usually you're supposed they recommend you running a 90 millimeter.
Yeah.
But because I bought this already, so I was like, you know what? I don't want to go through the hassle of spending $400. So I went to told my brother-in-law to go buy AirTech TIG weld that adapter plate on it. So the adapter plate is welded.
Yeah, I see it's welded onto the damn.
So it's welded onto the manifold, so you can run a stock, any stock starter body on it. Yeah, right here.
But what happens if you decide to go bigger? Will you just pull it out?
Yeah, just pour it out. But I was like, 65 should be cool. I mean, with the TS Comp AMS, they ran to me almost 900 on the 65 body, so I was like, I'm cool with it. You survive that. Motor's just set up for fuel system is set up for 1500, but just a motor, because the turbo limited at 780. So I was like, hey, 700, I'll be happy.
And what kind of tune have you guys done to it this so
Each
far?
stuff gone.
No?
Kevin thought that each a base map without in the ejector, and that was it. Because they're still breaking the motor, so I told Kevin not to do anything. We turn off that ground speed, so it's zero boost. Well, actually, it's zero boost at ground speed, but running off of the waste gauge. So the waste gauge is at 33 pound boost.
Uh-huh.
So
at 33 pounds, this doesn't open, right?
it opens 22. So it opens at 22 pounds, but for some reason the waste gauge goes to 33. I don't know why it does that though, but I call FP, and FP says that if you do anything smaller spring than 18, the turbo, the waste gauge spike up. So it will not hold 18 or less spring. So I was like, I'll put it 22. And it turns out to be 33 psi. Yeah, so it's on 33 psi right now. On everything else is just like come back, shady.
But it actually opens, right? You know, I was curious. Like I was asking Kevin when he put me at like 28 pounds, the mine would open too. But then when he bumped it up to 30, it stopped opening.
That's weird. That's really weird.
What do you? He said it's normal sometimes, and I said, you know, I did look up some stuff, and it
One scratch, you'll fight down on this side because the motor, you take it from the top, it has to tilt very ugly. When I did it, hey, it hit the roof. It was so bad. My wife's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm trying to take out the motor. It was no joke. It was me and my brother only. And then I learned the hard way that it was just best to take it out from the bottom.
Okay, so what do I take off from the back?
For the motor mount?
From the motor itself.
Oh, from the motor itself? So there's two sides, the one here, and I got you the coil transmission at the back. No? I think it's like a 12 or 14. And then once you take that out, and then those are the four mount that holds it, and then put the chiller head off, right? So that's easy. And then all you do is just disconnect the transfer case. So
yeah.
So you take 3 bolts on the bottom to transfer case. So 1, 2, 3. You don't want ACD, have you? So with the ACD, since you have the head off, it's easy. But when you put the motor on, it's gonna be a little bit pain in the ass. Go treat the axle down, right?
Nope.
So the axle, this side is going to be a pain in the ass. That side's easy.
Why is this side hard?
But to give it the easiest, get a sledgehammer. Yeah, I try not to damage it. Just slowly tap it. My tap when you slide out. That's all it is. If I could try to pry it, you cannot pry it.
Okay, so where do I tap?
So the part that goes inside the inner shaft of the transmission. So this is the bolts like that that goes inside the inner shaft, and you just hit the part that go the fat part on this side. Okay.
Can I put like
Yeah, you can put it
a vice grip on and then try to hit that slowly? But
you can do that.
so I have to. Okay.
Yeah. They come on my tap, then you look at usually you're gonna damage, so just slowly tap it and then it'll slide out. It's the same thing. Get you after the same thing, but just this side is a little bit pain in the ass. And then from that side, there's the inner shaft. You got to take out the inner shaft. The inner shaft goes inside the transmission, so you have to take out the long inner shaft. The inner shaft,
So what if it won't separate? Because you know some Hondas they won't separate. Or will it separate easily?
Yeah, it will separate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but with the ACD, there's 3 bolts on the bottom. There's 1, 2, 3. I think 3 or 4. 3. No, there's 3. So 3 on the bottom, the transfer case, and 3 on top. So there's 2 from up here, and then the one that got your 2 on the transmission. So transfer case to transmission, the bolts are about like that long. So in order to get to that bleeding line, you gotta take ACD line. It's like a 19 or 21 millimeter, and then there's 2 O-ring on it. There's one on top and the one on the bottom. It's gonna be a little bit. It's easy to take out, but no can jam. Just because you can't really see it, so you gotta kind of have to play with it to get a feeling of it. It took me a little while. I lost like 4 O-rings just doing that thing. It was a bitch, but it was not easy at all.
Where am I gonna dealer?
O-rings are dealer, but once you have the head off, then you'll see what it's easier with the head off. But when you install the motor,
It's all complete already. You can't
it's
see
all
nothing.
complete. Then you have to do it from under the car. Then you gotta so you gotta reach your hand over like that and just fill it. That's it. And unless you have someone on top of her, then they could just guide to Joe local.
But the hard part is seating the rings without ripping them, right?
It's just a middle O-ring,
Oh, okay.
which is a good thing. But the downfall is that little on top of the bolt, but little so you gotta put both of them together on the thing to push on top of the hole. It's not easy, that's the thing. So that's the thing I hate about it. So that's the only issue, but once you get the use of it, then you can get, so as soon as you take out that line, then there's a bolt on the inside, so you can take out that bolt, and then once you take that bolt, so you're done with the transfer case, then you gotta take out, once you take out the axle side, on the driver's side, you gotta take out the inner shaft. Take out the inner shaft, and the whole transmission will just be separate from the transfer case.
So am I gonna lose any fluids between there?
Yeah, drain it first.
The transfer case and the transmission?
It's just a transfer case.
Okay.
Well, you can drain both of them, it'll be easier. I usually drain both of them once when I hold on.
Okay, so I'm gonna drain the transfer case, the tranny. How about the ACD?
ACD is one whole unit with the transfer case.
Okay,
Yeah,
so.
so it's just this right here, the transmission fluid. A regular automatic transmission fluid.
Okay.
Some people recommend Mitsubishi, but it's the same. It's the same liquid.
Okay.
It's just a different brand.
Okay, so the ACD stays with the car.
The transfer case. The transfer case is the whole. The transfer case is one whole unit. Look, ACD pump, nothing, so you don't really worry about that pump.
Oh, it's just a line.
Yeah, it's just a line.
Okay, it's the ACD line.
ACD line. So the ACD line runs all the way right here, connects to right there. So it's kind of like a power steering thing.
So I gotta undo that line so that when I drop the transmission, it's not.
Makes you cool anything, okay?
Okay, and then.
And then so once you take out the transfer case, you pull it towards this side, like we usually multi-flow Kia, and then so it'll get out of the way. Good multi-flow Kia, so I'll just sit there and transmission. And then I learned the hard way because you wish I was learning this. I learned the hard way, but after a couple times taking it out, it's easy. And then yank it out to transfer case towards the passenger side, tie it, and then, but before you tie it, make sure you take out the inner shaft. The inner shaft is on the inside. Let me give him a phone, show you.